tithe to, and Eric will tell us a little more about that. William will come up, and they'll both run through the organizations that are to be looked at today. And then William's going to come up and speak to his ministerial vision, where he wants to go as a community. Ezekiel's going to come up and do an operations update so we know where we are with our teams and what he's been up to. We'll take a break at that point, and then we'll get into the board stuff. William will talk about his vision for the new board, and then we'll go into our board election. So thank you to everybody who is helping with the meeting tonight. We have some helpers checking people in, our AV folks, thank you so much. And Eric, you can get started with finance.
Eric, give me 1 second. I'm going to switch out the report for you real quick. Just give me a second while you go up there.
Hi, everyone online. It's wonderful to see you. I hope you stay engaged and can vote using our Mentimeter system when it's time to vote.
Give me 1 second. Moving all the stuff. There you go.
All right. We're doing the financial overview. We did a pretty detailed review in our quarterly meeting back in December, so I'm going to not go into the kind of detail that we did that time, since it'd be repetitive, but I do really want to talk about giving and where we are as a community with a longer time horizon than just last year. So let's get into it. If we can go to the next slide, please, Ezekiel. Okay, I wanted to switch that. Let's go to the next one, and then we'll go back to this. There we go. Okay, so this is the overview of our spending for the year. It's maybe not as visible as it could be, since that brown thing is up there. But for this year, the past 2025, our total expenses were about $187,500. So we spent $187,000. Of that, about $62,000 was spent on the facility. After all, we have to pay for this lovely space. We pay rent, we pay electricity, we do maintenance. So that is our biggest single expense, $62,000. Administratively, we spent $32,000. Ministerial and Sunday service, that's putting on the Sunday service, cost us about $27,000 last year. Music, about $19,000. Tithing, which we're going to spend a lot of time on today, overall was $18,000, which is about 10% of what we take in. And we give half of that to various Unity entities, UWM, Unity headquarters, the ministerial school, etc. And now we give half of that 18 to 4 different local nonprofits. So last year, total of 9,000, so we do one per quarter, about $2,250 per organization each quarter. Last year, because we were making a push to do more for our youth, we spent $7,800 on the youth program, and then to keep our online presence for those of you out there online, and for the digital work that we do here. Mute button with my ill-placed pinky. About $6,300 for AV. So overall, again, in terms of spending, it was $187,000, which is actually down from last year. And if we go to the next slide, which was the last slide, you can see that most of those savings came because we were in a ministerial transition. This is the actual slide for ministerial and Sunday service. Previous year, 2024, we had about $58,000 here. This year, only $27,000. That's because in 2024, we were paying a full ministerial salary. Last year, we had 6 months of a consultant, Reverend Ruth. We had some other expenses in that area, but essentially saved a lot of money because we were in transition. So into the next slide, please. Our operating results, in other words, we're a nonprofit, so we can't make a profit. We actually call it a surplus, but we actually had a surplus of $8,147, whereas previous year, 2024, even though I thought we were going to end up pretty even, we actually were down about $3,500. So we have both controlled our spending and kept our giving pretty solid. So this year, we ended up with an $8,000 surplus, which I think is pretty good. So that's really the underlying story, but there's another story that I'd like to tell looking back 5 years. So if we can go to the next slide. Over a 5-year period, this is our total congregational giving. And really what's happened here is that we have underlying giving and purpose-specific giving. So if we go to the next one, we can look at our regular spending, or regular giving. So this is ongoing donations from each week, as well as the automatic payments that many of you make using Tithely. So over 5 years, it's been relatively steady, about $160,000 on average each year. But we've done something different in the last few years that I think is really encouraging and gives us an idea of where we can go. So if we go to the next slide, this is what I'm calling purpose-driven giving. In other words, money that we have raised for a specific purpose, not just to pay the light bill and the rent, but because there are specific objectives that we have that we communicate to the congregation and that you get behind. So back in 2021, we had none of this, partly because we didn't set it up, but we really weren't working that way. In 2022 and 2023, we had $10,000 each year, which was coming from Dan and Charlotte for a specific purpose of scholarships and guest lecturers. But beginning in 2024, we started with specific programs. 2024, we did the youth program drive, and last year in 2025, we did some other things, but mostly the 50K to light the way. So we have raised in what we call restricted funds this last year, $77,000, $35,000 the year before that. So when we have something that's important, that we all recognize is important, that we want to support, this community comes together and can do it. So moving into the next slide, just a little review. Our regular giving has stayed pretty steady. We have the capacity to be more generous when the purpose is clear. We know what it's for. We've brought expenses into alignment. That strengthens us. We don't have to worry about going into the red on a regular basis. We've moved from deficits to operating into the black. So why does this matter? Next slide. It matters because that we can come together around a shared goal. We're on a strong financial footing. Most importantly, and with the advent of William coming in, we have the capacity to grow. When our mission inspires us, we step up to fund what's needed for us to flourish. So that's the message I think our financial review gives you. Thank you. Bless you, Elaine. So now it's really important the way we tithe and want to support our community. This year we asked in advance for people to nominate nonprofits. In years past, it's sort of been tough to find a lot to go around. This year we've had 14 nominations. So we're going to vote on 4 of 14, which unfortunately means we can't support a lot of the organizations that have been nominated, but it shows the level of interest among our congregants for supporting our community. So we have 14 slides. We'll go through them. We don't know everybody who made a nomination, so if you made a nomination for an organization that you see here, and if you'd like to say a few words about why it's important to you, why you nominated them, what your connection is to them, if you do volunteer work or on a board, please put up your hand. We'll give you the mic and you can say a few words about that organization. So we'll move into that group. The first is the Latino Community Association. This is a long-established Central Oregon nonprofit providing education, advocacy, legal support, workforce development, and community integration programs. Anybody make that nomination? Okay. William?
I've done a little bit of work with them, and they do a lot in helping the Latino community, especially those with language barriers, migrant workers, helping to network them to the resources they need. They do a lot, and they're really good people. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, thank you. Next up is the Giving Plate. I think some of you are familiar with it. They provide food assistance, easier for me to read from my notes, resource navigation, emergency support through community store concept serving over 100 households every day. It's aligned with unity, with strong values of dignity, inclusion, family support, and empowerment, and deep community roots. Next up. No one nominated? Okay. Street Dog Hero. They're often seen at many of our community events, the spring and winter festivals, etc. They're a foster-based rescue with a global mission, and they save dogs, do adoption, wellness, spay and neutering clinics, and humane education. They have rescued and rehoused more than 4,000 animals and provided over 12,000 either reduced cost or no cost neuter and spay surgeries. They're over on Wilson Avenue and a neat organization. Anybody else want to say a word about them?
And just so you know, they just brought up about 29 Chihuahuas from a hoarding home. So they're an amazing organization.
Just trying to visualize 29 Chihuahuas. All right, next up. Around the Bend Farms. Russell, would you maybe want to say a word or two of your former organization? Check. Yes, we have supported them in the past when Russell was part of their. Changing patterns. I don't see Ryan or Frank here, but Jeremy's here, and Jeremy can say a few words about this organization, and this is where I feel it's important that we support organizations that are part of our congregation, and Jeremy is a wonderful example of that.
So, Changing Patterns is an organization that helps people coming out of prison re-enter society in a positive way. It shows them how to build a support system, enables them to connect to resources, and mentors them in making the right decisions. Their motto is, in order to have a seat at the table at Changing Patterns, is a commitment to no new crime. In order to have a seat at the table, to be a part of the organization, to get benefits and everything, re-entering citizen needs to just have a commitment to no new crime.
Yeah, I didn't nominate them, but I used them. They came to my house last Wednesday and delivered things for my daughter and my granddaughter. We got mattresses, bedding, some cooking supplies. They were just wonderful. They just handed in, helped bring things. I even got a desk. So they really are amazing.
So, this is on. Okay. I also want to say that with Changing Patterns and NAMI are about to collaborate with helping with families who are, experiencing all that fun stuff. So, yeah, really great.
All right. Next up, Central Oregon Villages. Believe it or not, this organization puts together small homes. Can't imagine much smaller than what you see in the photo, but it brings dignity to homeless people and gives them a space to call home and start on a journey back into regular housing situations. They provide safe temporary shelter and supportive community for unhoused neighbors with dignity and structure. They operate 4 sites in Bend, and at each site they have individualized case management. How it's aligned with unity, they're deeply aligned with our values, compassion of human dignity, and provide community-based solutions. I drive by one of the sites, which is just off 27th Street all the time, and this has been a big innovation recently in Central Oregon. Anybody else have anything for them? Okay. Next, Family Kitchen. I think many of us have volunteered there over the period of time. They provide free nutritious meals in a safe and caring environment with no question asked. They serve about 3,000 free meals every week. We have been volunteering one Saturday each month to help prepare those meals, and it's a wonderful organization that we will continue to volunteer at, and we have supported them with our nonprofit in the past as well. Any other people want to speak on behalf? Okay. Dan.
I just want to question really quick, will we still continue our once a month Saturday Family Kitchen commitment, even if we're not going to contribute financially?
Absolutely. And
Okay.
I thought I heard, but maybe I didn't, that we might in fact be doing it more than one Saturday a month. Did I imagine that? No?
Potentially.
I thought I heard Kevin say maybe we were doing it more often.
we
But we will
may
at least do the once a month.
we may have a Unitine commitment to help out there as well,
Oh,
which
that
is a
would be
potential item that's going to come up to the new board. So
Yeah, that would be great. Next is Healing Rains. This is an organization that provides support to individuals through a unique kind of therapy of working with horses to provide mental support in all kinds of situations. So they're nationally recognized, an equine assistance service provider, horse-centered therapy and rehabilitation for people of all ages and abilities. So there are people who are differently abled who work with them. Working with horses is really stabilizing and calming, and it's a surprising to me but amazing Amazing organization. They used to be out near us in Horse Butte, but now they've got a bigger and better location. Any other horse fans?
I'd just say that my Florence attended Healing Reigns, and the people there were really, really wonderful. And I had a good experience with them in general. I didn't nominate them, actually, but I have had wonderful experiences. And anyone else here who believes in metaphysics and energy, as many of us do, horses are a really beautiful place for that. So definitely want to say that these people are out there doing really, really beneficial work, especially with children who are dealing with some pretty severe challenges. You know, can really find some community in the horses.
All right, next up should be Hanai, the Hanai Foundation, which provides an inspiring gathering place for events, classes, and programs focused on consciousness, healing, creativity, and community. It serves all of Central Oregon with connection, creativity, personal growth through classes, events, and programs. I know many of us have attended events there, and some of our members have hosted events there. It's a actually beautiful space, and as you'll hear later, Len is building a labyrinth there very shortly, so that'll be really neat. And if you would like to say something, William, please give Dave the microphone.
I didn't nominate them, but they're walking distance from my house. I was just there for the monk's walk, the walk of peace, the meditation, and I've been there for many things, and they're hospitable. They open their doors to a lot of sound baths and meditations right up our alley. It's a beautiful place.
Thank you. Next up, Neighbor Impact. Neighbor Impact is so much bigger an organization than you can imagine. I get their annual report that shows both how big their budget is and how wide the scope of the activities they support is. It's really a huge safety net organization in Central Oregon. It was founded in 1985. It supports people and strengthens community, offering housing, stability programs, food pantry, emergency assistant, Head Start programs, and it's involved in a lot of organizations that you know the name of, but they're all under the umbrella of Neighbor Impact. They provide systemic compassion, poverty alleviation, and empowerment to so many in Central Oregon. Anybody else care to say a word about Neighbor Impact? Carol.
I didn't nom. Is it on? Anyway, oh, thank you. I didn't nominate them, but they came to my house and provided insulation and a heating system, which has changed my life, and completely free to me. They have programs in various through various agencies, government, and so on. And it's really a remarkable, very widespread service that they provide for many people in this community.
Thank you. Next up. Oh, I'm sorry, Elaine.
Excuse me. I didn't nominate them either, but I've known about them for a number of years. And one of the first things that struck me about them is not only all their programs, which is what are most visible, but about the culture and how they, golly, what's the executive director's name? I'm not pulling it up right now. But I interviewed him actually some years ago, along with several other community leaders, to find out what made Central Oregon so different. And he talked about how they share with other agencies and other community, other people, just other organizations. They share resources, so they're not just a silo, insulated, trying to get all the money for themselves and do their own programs. They were very, very, very actively creating a whole infrastructure, if that's the right word, in Central Oregon of connection between and among organizations, a real cooperative net. So they were practicing that in their thinking and in their larger way of being, not just in the programs. And that really stuck with me because that's so different than how a lot of businesses and community leaders operate. Okay, thanks.
I also did not nominate Neighbor Impact, but I wanted to speak specifically to one of the programs that Neighbor Impact offers, which is Head Start, and that's childcare for low-income families. It's really high-quality childcare in preschool, and we can see what's happening. So I work in childcare, and I am seeing firsthand families are losing their childcare left and right. I mean, these social programs are being absolutely gutted, and somebody having childcare for their young children can honestly be what makes or breaks it for them keeping their housing, keeping food on the table. If you have nowhere to send your child, you can't work. You can't pay your rent. You can't feed your family. So supporting programs like this, I mean, it's so much bigger than people just having somewhere to send their kids, and there's a lot more I could say about it, but that's something that I think people should consider.
Okay, next up, Central Oregon Collective. This is an organization that supports adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. They were founded in 1983. They create opportunities for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities to live meaningful, independent lives. Does anybody here, Victor, would you like to say a few words?
This is my employer. I started working with a small organization called Integrity and Compass in 2018, doing the same thing. And then joined with Central Oregon Collective in 2024. So I've been working with them since then, and I work every day with adults with varying disabilities, ranging from someone in their 20s and 30s or even in their 70s. And get them out in the community and go all over, taking someone to Portland to see around Mainland, and clients to the Tower Theater or to the Hayden Homes Amphitheater, and we just help people with the every day-to-day activities, but just giving them the opportunity to have a life and to get out and say hello to people. And yeah, I'm very passionate about it, and it's a really great environment to work in. And then 4 times a year, we do live music dance party with Cheyenne West and myself. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Pet Pals. Pet Pals is a program under the Council on Aging of Central Oregon. They support seniors by helping them care for their pets, often a crucial factor in elder independence and well-being. They provide pet food, supplies, and veterinary care assistance. They provide compassionate, practical, deeply humane support for older folks like I'm becoming.
I nominated them because they, oh my God, blank. The people who deliver food is called?
Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels. They work with them, and they also have an extra part that does the pets and provides free food for the pets, and it takes them to veterinarian doctor's appointments and stuff. And so I thought it was I haven't worked with them, but I thought it was pretty incredible what they do. So I thought that's why I nominated them.
Okay, next up, Treehouse Therapies. Treehouse is a nonprofit pediatric therapy clinic serving all of Central Oregon with 4 locations, including Sisters in Warm Springs. They provide physical, occupational, and behavioral health therapy regardless of financial condition of the family in a child-centered, family-oriented environment. They care for children, they provide equity and healing without barriers. Would anybody like to speak on their behalf? Ezekiel Wood?
Yeah, there's not many services in Central Oregon for children who are having hard moments. There really isn't. And this one is really, really wonderful. They do a great job, and they're nonprofit. They're out there doing good work. And I don't know if you guys have had friends who've struggled from like alcohol or drug addiction inside of this area as well, and it's like, 6 months out to try to get somebody into a treatment center, but you're far out from even trying to get over into these guys. It's not because they're not doing good work, it's just that they don't have enough funding, to try to get more people out there. And there's a ton of people. As Central Oregon is growing, there's that many more children who need help. So it matters.
I can also speak on that. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased towards child-centered things, but I did not nominate them, but I have seen firsthand the impact that they make on children who I'm working in close contact with at my school. And what I am seeing more and more of in the children of this generation is there are more and more children who need this kind of therapy. There is a high need in our young population for qualified occupational therapists, and the fact that they're providing it regardless of financial limitation is huge. So I just wanted to put that.
Very good, thank you. And last but far from least, we have a brand new nonprofit nominated that I'm going to let Drea and Len talk about, called the Living Labyrinth Foundation. So Drea, you want to come up here?
Yep. Hi everyone. Some of you know me, some do not. I'm new to the community. And I have decided to take on starting a new nonprofit called Living Labyrinths Foundation, thanks to the inspiration of Len, Elian Meserve here. He created the labyrinth outside. If anyone has had the chance to walk through that, it's a beautiful experience offering choice, the labyrinth of choice, something that he created himself. And I recently acquired a trailer that I've decided to turn into a mobile office space. And our goal here, if you'd like to share, Eliane, is to bring more labyrinths to the public. We're starting with the one at Hanai. We're doing a workshop March 14th where we'll be educating people on labyrinth use and benefits and how it can transform not only the community but your energy field, the energy of the land, helping people connect more deeply to this beautiful planet that we live on. And it's a new foundation, it's a new nonprofit, so any funding will help a lot because all of it's coming out of my pocket at this moment. But I'm very inspired by this lovely man who has spent the last 50 years doing labyrinths around the country, 40 of them here in our community, very few are private, well, very few are public. So the nonprofit purpose of this one would be to bring them into not only just here in Hanai, but other churches, schools, libraries, parks in particular, public parks. So Eliane, please come up and share a little bit of your vision and this dream of yours.
Dream of mine. Is this on? It is on. Bend is so rich with so many beautiful parks. And yet, not a one of them have a labyrinth. I believe they all should have labyrinths. And the parks could be much more of a mental health aspect for anybody walking by. And we don't need to put one in every park, but boy, the general lot of them ought to have it. And I just feel that that is a very positive move forward for the whole community, especially when people begin to really understand how they work, why they work. And I can't wait to get rolling on that, I tell you.
He's such a sweetheart. What a beautiful heart. So just one quick little note, side note to bring you into the trailer concept. I recently acquired a vintage record player, which will be playing things such as this beautiful Kennedy Memorial speech. Do not ask what your country can do for you.
Do for your country.
Yes. And I have some handouts here that kind of give the breakdown of the vision of this beautiful trailer that I purchased. It's a 1961 vintage, and I'm going to be playing 60s music, offering some tea, exposing some books we have about labyrinths, I have slides that Eliane has provided, and just taking it to each build so that I can provide food, beverages, education to any people that participate and help collaborate on these builds and learn, because I think what he knows, I know I want to learn and pass on to future generations. So it's a community outreach. Hanai's already agreed to letting us have the camper trailer mobile office sanctuary at their location for the first event. And then we'll probably have it there at other events and have it here, ideally, as a way to just bring more attention to what labyrinths are and, have some nice tea and conversation and connect with each other instead of with our phones. So that's it for now. Thank you.
Thank you. Speaking of connecting with phones, Donna, did you want to say something?
Whatever doesn't get nominated, just be aware that, look at the source. There are so many events that are fundraisers for all of these amazing events. I always go to Empty Bowls for Neighbor Impact, and so it's another way of building community, and also it's another way for Unity to show up at these different organizations. So even if we don't, your favorites don't get voted in, there's other opportunities to serve.
Okay, so we all know that our phones can have negative consequences. Julie, did you want to say something?
One quick comment, Eric.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Dan.
The labyrinths, I did not advocate for it, but I am. My brother had visited here, and our labyrinth was very helpful in his expansion of consciousness and awareness and thinking out of the box and having a better appreciation for me and my commitment to Unity. And so if we can just keep in mind that it is a temporal energy portal that is incredibly helpful in many ways. And so it is.
Thanks, Dan. Julie, did you want? William, can you give to Julie?
Yeah. It's just a quick question. You had mentioned that there were one or two that were nominated or that we gave it to in the past. When we vote, will we know which ones we gave to in the past?
No.
Okay.
And
I think that'd be helpful in the future.
Speaking of voting, though, it's time to do that. Our phones can be destructive sometimes to our stability and mental health. Other times they can actually be helpful, and this is one of those. So we have a QR code for Mentimeter, a web-based service that lets us do voting.
And another thing as well is if you do want a non-phone ballot, if you can just raise your hand, Tally will bring one over to you. If you don't have availability yet, we'll make sure that your votes are counted. This also, thank you so much, everybody. We'll get you one day in. Allows for the people who are not here, so going forward for annual meetings, it makes it easy for you able to.
Next
slide, sorry.
Ezekiel, I'm going to let you walk us through this.
Yep. I'm just getting people joined on. Is everybody on?
Oh, I know. Just wait. I know, that's what I was saying, just wait.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. My mistake. Everybody. Who are we missing?
As you make each selection, it'll count down because you have 4 votes.
Sorry, everybody, new stuff.
No, we're working. Ezekiel's gotta add back the missing one.
I don't know if we just cut off the ones that were lower than that because we just lost all the ones.
Technology is a blessing and a curse, and sometimes we gotta go back and add things to it.
Neighbor impact isn't on here.
I know, I'm knocked out at 12, everybody, for some reason. Sorry. I don't know why it's doing that.
All right, here's the QR code again. Hold on one second. What's the name of which? The Latino Community Foundation?
Hey everybody, so just so you know, because of the little difficulties we're having, we do apologize about that. If there's anything, we have another voting section here with the board election and everything else, so continue voting on this if you're able to, but if not, we're gonna get some paper and some other things available. We'll make sure that we're getting everybody's vote. So we do apologize about that as going forward. We're trying to make sure that people can vote from a distance.
We'll have to write it on a piece of paper.
Okay.
We get to vote for 4, but since everyone's not, for some reason, we can't get all 14 here, we'll have to, Ezekiel, if there's somebody missing, can we vote for like 3 and then give you?
Yeah, just come on over. Like I said, we'll have sheets of paper. Come on over and we'll get all the votes counted.
Yeah,
Make
so
sure we have it all.
vote for as many as you see, and if there's somebody you don't see,
Come over.
let's walk up
Dennis has
to,
paper.
we'll walk up to Ezekiel and give him our additional manual votes. Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. I do apologize, everybody.
Elaine? Because apparently the system.
Yeah,
can't
voting,
handle
so much fun. Thank you.
The full list. They keep dropping off, so if we want to vote for the other ones, we'll
Yep, just get a
go
sheet
up
of
and give
paper.
them a manual.
Yep. So anybody, just sheet of paper with anyone that's missing. We'll get all the votes collected. I've got 2 for neighborhood impact over here for already. No, you can give me another sheet with a neighborhood impact so we can count the vote appropriately. was Neighborhood Impact and Central Oregon Collective.
Okay, if you want to vote for Neighborhood Impact or Central Oregon Collective, make sure you write that down on a piece of paper, and then if you're voting for one of those, make sure you only mark 3 on the form. Does that make sense? Okay.
All right, so just to recap, if somebody you want to support didn't make it on the list, please go up and give Alistair a paper ballot to show that your extra vote for those organizations.
Are there?
We do. No. Let me see if I can figure. It's in my phone. Right, so it's like community guest 5, but then I don't have memorized.
All right, when everybody's about wrapped up, we can start moving on here in another moment or two. Is there anybody, raise your hand if you still need another moment. Is there anybody still waiting? No? Okay.
Okay, while we tally the votes, we can do a little financial Q&A session if anybody has any questions pertaining to finance.
Anybody have any questions related to finance?
There's a couple of hands over here.
Reese.
I just had one quick question on our donation, total budget. How does it relate to membership and membership growth? Because with membership growth, there should be some form of, call it revenue growth. And so just wondering how the relationship is.
It's a really good question to which I don't have a really good answer. Our growth has mostly been in like the last 6 months. And our regular ongoing donation basis has stayed pretty steady. I don't think that's necessarily indicative of where we're going, but we haven't really, honestly, we don't keep track of our membership very tightly. So we don't have a good correlation between members and giving on average. So I think that's something we're going to start to track a little more carefully. Yeah.
I guess my follow-up question would be, is there any like attrition of funding that used to come in that no longer is there on, for membership or anything like that? People that have been giving in the past but don't give anymore. So
generally not. No, there aren't a lot of people who've been dropping off deliberately. There's the occasional people who fall off from the identity theft mechanics and things like that, but we try to stay on top of that. Okay. Anybody else? All right. William, I'm going to hand this over to you.
I should have left my wireless on. We as a spiritual community are coalescing in an identity. And this is something that we will foster and nurture here in our own community, but it's our desire to reach out. And the real boss of Unity Spiritual Community is our mission and values. And it's my desire to read these out loud now to you, because this is what we're working for together as a collective. This is our purpose as a spiritual organization. And our identity is Wild Soul Sanctuary, which is a safe place to rediscover who we are and grow courageously into what we're becoming. We honor the divinity in all and celebrate those who seek spiritual connection outside the bounds of tradition or doctrine. Here we are free to heal, to connect, and to thrive together. And it's important that we know this, that we're just not some wayward ship being blown about on an ocean, that we have a direction, we have values, and we have a mission. Our mission is to foster an inclusive, loving, and spiritually enriching environment where individuals of all beliefs, all backgrounds can grow in their personal spiritual journeys through education, service, and communal practices. We seek to inspire a sense of oneness, purpose, and stewardship. We co-create in a vibrant and supportive community, raising consciousness and contributing to the spiritual awakening of all of humanity. Our vision: we are a community committed to co-creating a world of unity, spiritual awakening, and loving kindness. We will have this posted in our foyer that we can look at. When we make important decisions, we will reference this so that we can keep on track. This is the star on our horizon to guide us. Our core values, it's my desire to remind us of these: inclusivity and unity, a commitment to co-creating a spiritual home that welcomes everyone, regardless of background, regardless of belief, and regardless of what stage of life someone may be in, while fostering a deep sense of oneness, that we are all in this together and it matters. Spiritual growth and transformation, offering a dynamic, evolving opportunity for individuals to engage in spiritual learning and transformative practices that elevate consciousness, that we are part of what's right in the universe, that we're helping all of us to win. We're providing workshops and classes and events that help raise the awakening process for our species, that we may become a force in this world. Community and connection, valuing the power of relationships through shared experiences, respectful communication, and collaborative community building. And this goes right in with stewardship and service, encouraging generosity, responsibility, and outreach to improve both the immediate community and the world in which we share. Creativity and joy, celebrating life through playfulness, arts, music, and other creative expressions that bring joy and vitality to the community. Things we want to start doing is having a movie night, having camping activities, having activities where we get to be human beings together in real time and space. That this can grow. It can be a safe haven. It can be a place for us to be better together than what we are individually. Holistic well-being, acknowledging and supporting the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual health and healing of all members. And loving kindness, that we can begin to coalesce more, have a consistent direction, that we can have more outreach in the community. I have the desire to do outreach in what we're for. There's many different protests happening, and I believe in the noble intention of all of them. But for us to have a landing page on what we agree of that's beyond Democrat and Republican, that's beyond the polarity that we see, the things that unify us, that we can stand for something together and reach out into the community with this is really important to me, that I will begin building a landing page and building a platform for this, but that we can stand up as human beings, as citizens of this planet, for something that's in the highest good of us all is really important to me. And to build community through things like movie nights. I would love to do our own game show. I would like to have a lighthearted, fun thing here with us all participating in it. And these are coalescing now. We are building structures to make it more cohesive, to have team leads so that we know who to go to for certain things. That the moment a newcomer walks in the door, they have the resources to understand what we're about, what we're doing, and how they can play a part in it right now. And have that paved, have that way paved, that we can have a healthy youth and family program, that parents know that they can bring their children here, and we're helping give back to generations coming up, that we can have more of an online presence that is a net to bring in all those people in the younger generations that are looking for something in this world that's not for sale, that are trying to find something that is sacred. We have beautiful jewels here now in our community, and the people that can give back so much, and nobody knows we exist. I will for that to change, and it's something we can do together. And what's up next? And can we give a hand for Ezekiel? Ezekiel's been doing so much stuff that I couldn't begin to do. He's put in countless hours and heartache just trying to get all of our IT and platforms in place. There's a whole tech stack that goes into running an organization of our size, to do bulk emailing, to do the newsletter, to try to keep it together. There's so much we don't even know that exists, and he's been handling that the best he can and putting a lot of himself into that. And I want to say that it's an honor for me to be here now. It's an honor for me to care. It's important to me. This community is important to me. What we can do is important to me. And it's something that feels beautiful. And it's worthy. And I believe it's pertinent to now, at this juncture of time and space and this zeitgeist of humanity we happen to be in, that life is calling us forward right now, and the time is right, and it's ripe.
Thank you. I got to fix this thing. It's going to drive me crazy if I'm standing here too long. Hi, everybody. How are you? Thanks for hanging out with us for so long. And they asked me to come up here and give you a basic reporting on some interviews and some findings that I found after doing a large project with the congregation. This is actually originated a report that was brought to the board in preparation for William coming on. There was a hope and a desire to look at what was occurring inside of the organization so that when we had a new minister going on, we could show them a picture of what was occurring. When we peeled back the hood, there were some things to work on that we were aware of, that we're working through, obviously. And then with the transition, there was actually a lot of him referencing the technology stack. A lot of our technologies got had to get transferred pretty quickly. It was kind of random with some stuff going on. And so there was a lot of just kind of interesting hurdles that we've been working through. So if you've been seeing some of the team going, wow, why are you guys working so hard on this stuff? We had some hurdles that we weren't anticipating, and some new challenges that we had to come into. And so we're coming out on the other side of it. And you probably only saw a lot of it if you were operating on some of the more volunteer level. Regardless, Alistair, if you could give me the next slide, that'd be great. So this is actually all of the words, not all of, some of the words that came from the listening sessions that I was available to do with people here at the congregation. And so when you're listening and you're saying, what does unity mean to you? What do these volunteer positions mean to you? How do you interact in these volunteer positions? These are the words that came up. Organization, responsibility, burnout. Saw that one a lot. Bottlenecks. Harmony, saw that one a good amount. Harmony, I saw struggle, issues. It's a mixed bag. And so the big thing is that we are a community. So the trick for William and for us is to figure out how we can create a safe, healthy container for people. How we can be together as a community from all these diverse backgrounds. It's actually a harder puzzle for us in comparison to maybe a more standard congregation because we are so wild. We have so many different personalities. I love it. It's fantastic. It presents specific challenges. Because we are dynamic individuals coming together into a dynamic environment. So, Alistair, if you can give me the next slide. So, here we are. As you start to walk on the way appears. So, this is a Unity organizational listening report, and you're going to go over some basic action steps, flow, communication, stability, some basic things. I'm giving it in about 10, 15 minutes when I would normally give maybe an hour to a 90-minute consultation report. So if I'm moving quickly, be aware that this will be available online, not that it's insanely informational, and I'm available to answer any questions if you have afterwards. If you want to go to the next slide, Alistair. So the purpose of this listening session was to try to gain insight of what was actually going on at the organization. So we have a core group of members who are operating, core group of volunteers who are operating, but there wasn't a very good, clear picture of what was going on at the organization, and a lot of that came into the fact that there aren't clear systems. Or there haven't been historically. And so when trying to dig into some of it, we had to start developing in a way to see what was going on at the organization, which is one of the challenges that we're overcoming currently. Who participated? Ministry leaders, staff, volunteers, congregational representatives, everybody. I tried to get a good snapshot of everybody inside of my listening sessions. The feedback is from interviews, focus groups, even beyond just my listening sessions and everything I was able to do. This goes back into Beth Miller was able to do some other work, and some other people over the past few years have really been looking. We're growing. We're growing rapidly. And at a certain level, if you do not have structure for growth, you will collapse. It's just inevitable. The beanstalk doesn't go up forever. Right? And so we're at a point where with this beautiful growth that we're having, we have to look at how we can put, the thing around the tomato plants, right? How we can keep the peas going up and climb in the direction that you like to wiggle, Kate? Climbing in the direction that we want to go, right? And the information was analyzed, distilled, and presented, and that's why William's deciding some of the stuff he's deciding and why we've been trying to move in the direction that we're moving. Alistair, if you can go next slide. So I'll go through these kind of quick, but these are the core challenges. There's a ton of benefits. It's just that when I'm going through and doing a consultation, I was asked to look at the challenges. So realize that we experienced the benefits. We just got to have the benefit of this place and the services and the beauty and the love and everything. So there's an equal amount of positive to anything negative that I'm saying in these moments. I'm being asked to identify the negatives, and thus we are conversating about them. There's fragmented communication tools. We found historically that people were saying that it was difficult to figure out how to volunteer and to get involved, and that when the communication was going on, they were struggling. This isn't everybody, but some. And so we're looking at communication and saying, how can we improve? How can we support? How can we make a better experience for you? That's what we're trying to figure out. How to make it so that when we interview people, they all say, communication's awesome, right? That's what we want. Role confusion and overlapping duties. There was a lot of this going on. So when you see some of the team structure that's going on or some of the developments that William is putting into place, he's mainly, or we are mainly trying to put structure in place to remove the overlapping duties and the role confusion. It creates a lot of burnout, and it creates people doing work twice, which is really crappy, right? Or somebody doubling up on things. Lack of documented systems, that's something we won't get into a lot today, but we are on the background doing a lot of good work on. Event and workflow bottlenecks. This is us just taking a look at when the events are happening, when things are coming up. Are we noting what the challenges are? Are we seeing if the challenges are presenting again and again and again? Oh, I get sick every moment I eat eggs. Stop eating eggs. Volunteer fatigue. This is very, very common inside of the organization, and I could probably say that people inside of this room could probably raise their hand and say that they've experienced certain levels of volunteer fatigue. We are a volunteer-based program, right? And the people who are here volunteering, they put on a lot of different hats, they're in a lot of different roles, they're doing a lot because they're so committed because we love this place so much. We really want to make sure that we're spreading out the ability for people to be able to serve, and we're spreading out the energy so that people aren't getting burnt out in any way, shape, or form. And new people coming in the door, when they arrive and they're at Unity and they've been here for 3 weeks and they're happy and they want to volunteer and we're all members, we want to make sure that they have a wonderful experience and that they feel held, they feel heard, that there's systems in place for them, that they can have an actual good volunteer experience, right? Missing structure in the teams, that's something over. And then reliance on individual memory. That was something that was difficult and is being dealt with currently. If you can go to the next slide, Alistair. So our 5 major fields of action were a unified communication system, which we're currently working on, organizational structure, which we're working on, volunteer enrollment system, which we're working on, role and responsibility, and the meeting rhythm and team flow. Going forward, you've seen some of the changes, maybe possibly if you're inside of some of the volunteer teams, of us asking for a more standardized commitment and flow from some of our teams. So previously, it was very laissez-faire when it came to some of the volunteering and things like that, where it wasn't actually as Pamela with the kitchen. She had a very good system for working with the kitchen, and they have a really good scheduling system where everybody's very on top of it. Otherwise, it's been the experience of the people that I was listening to that they haven't had a very good scheduling system when it comes to volunteering. So when you see the meeting rhythm and team flow, we're looking for an ability for our volunteers to be volunteering on a more consistent rhythm. That way it works with your life better than us kind of bugging you about it. So you could say, I'm at Unity maybe the first week of the month or the second week of the month or the third week of the month, and we can begin creating and developing a system that's more beneficial. This is the first rendition of this going out, but that's going to be a lot that you hear about going forward is us with this new volunteer drive trying to get people in. We're trying to create a very rhythmic pattern so that it can be predictable for people and you can feel like you can volunteer in a way that just fits your life well. You can schedule your vacations and things along that nature. Alistair, you want to go to the next slide? So we've been working in all these areas, and I'm going to go through these really quick. But the unified communication system is currently, we have our newsletter that we communicate with each other, we have our emails that we send back and forth, and we have our text messages. We don't really have a unified social area that people feel very, very confident in. We have Elvanto, some people use it and some people don't use it. So going into 2026, the unified communication system is not necessarily going to be just a matter of us communicating on an email or a text message basis. The unified communication system comes into what Mr. Gregory was talking about with the social media, in a place where we can be communicating with each other, right? So we're going to continue moving in the direction of upping our ability to be communicating with others. That primarily comes from an ability to have technologies that are accessible for our members. We'll continue to go with that. We have our roles and responsibilities are being defined, which is wonderful. You can skip to the next one, and I'll just chat onto that one for a moment. Alistair, can you go to the next slide? So our roles and responsibilities are being defined, and that's something that really is going to be a bigger question as we're done with this meeting. So we have a brand new board coming in. We have brand new volunteer positions opening up. We have team leads who have retired or are coming out and phasing out. A lot of the roles and responsibilities that William's excited about coming in and we've talked about a lot of have to wait a little bit until we know who all the players are on the board. We know what the communication is going to be with them, and we understand what the teams need, right? I would have loved to have been up here asking for volunteers right now, but we don't know until the board switched and the volunteers have new heads and everything else. And so there's a little bit of a hold and wait, but realize that the team structure, which was first brought up by Miss Sarah, she brought forward a beautiful team structure for our team development. That is being carried forward into William's ministry, and is being carried forward with nice, clear, defined roles. We'll find out more about that in the next couple months. It's going to be a work in progress. The big thing is we are a spiritual program. We're a spiritual center, and thus it's not our desire to be putting boundaries around people that feel restrictive. It's our desire to support in a way that feels helpful. Right? And it's so a lot of these with the roles and responsibilities, we are waiting for divinity to express the role, you know, to show us what that needs to be rather than us trying to define it. Meeting rhythms and team flow. So once again, this is something that we are going to be moving forward on as we get more teams in place. The big word that I know that I'm working on, I've spoken about with William ad nauseum, I've spoken out with Dan Miller ad nauseum, is we're asking for some curiosity. And we're asking for some empowerment to happen inside of the teams, right? Because currently, the model is not extremely empowered. We want to make the team structure in place to give empowerment to the volunteers, and empowerment to the team, empowerment to you. That's what Unity is all about. It's a self-empowerment model. So as we're moving forward and we're seeing that things are kind of changing and they're different than what they were the past couple of years, or Ezekiel talks differently than Claire did, and this or that, or what it happens to be, realize that the goal and the mission that is in my heart every day, I promise, and William works on diligently, is one of empowerment, of making sure that you as individuals can be making the best possible decisions in your own service, in your own congregation, and in your own ways. And we just want to be helping you along that way in every way possible. So be curious. Why are we changing this stuff around? Why are we looking at this from a new angle, right? Or when something's going on and we're trying something, be vocal. I won't become offended. Hey, I don't like this because of this reason. I don't like this. It begins an open dialogue, and we carry that joint curiosity forward to create a beautiful community for all of us. Does that make sense? And so we're really working hard in the background to try to make sure that we can support the growth that we know is coming. We feel it. We all see what's happening, and growth isn't the goal. It's not the goal, but it's something that we need to make sure that we're ready to be dealing with, or it can become very taxing and very stressful, right? It's very stressful to grow unplanned, right? So next slide, Alistair. Grow the family, volunteer system. You're all members here. We need more volunteers. We always need more volunteers. Whatever that looks like, those are just a bunch of random people. Whatever that looks like for you, we're really looking at the model of, can you volunteer once every 2 months? Can I volunteer once a month? I can volunteer with the kids once a quarter. Wonderful. Let's get you on the calendar for all 4 quarters. You know? And start having a true commitment. It's pretty interesting, actually. I'll just say this one note because I have a microphone and I'm up here talking about it. But if I went out on a date with somebody and then I asked them if they wanted to go out again and they said, I'll let you know, I would not say that was my girlfriend. That would be a little irrational. Like, that would be a strange thing to say to somebody. Like, I've got a girlfriend, we went out on one date, but now, you know, maybe I'll see her next month or something. That would be a little irrational. But people are like, this is my congregation, and I'm like, can you volunteer? And they're like, I'll let you know. So commitment. It's a commitment. Once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months. And I understand that you can't commit money always. It's not realistic, but the moments matter. And here's the benefit. You just grow from it. You just grow from it. You grow and you benefit, and it's a beautiful process. But we are going to be asking for more commitment out of our volunteers, and that's why we're creating some of the structure so that we can follow up on that commitment. Because the same thing, I want to be a good player in the game, right? If you're going to be dating, you should be a good individual. Good individual. Let's go to the next slide. Minor action items. So these are the small things that I went through with William, but revitalizing the prayer ministry, making sure that we get some of our smaller programs lost some energy as we were kind of going through these processes of the change and everything else. So making sure that we're putting some more inside of there, more into formalized membership pathways, enhanced education offerings, stabilized financial stewardship. This is all the boring stuff you guys don't want to hear about that we talk about in the meetings that keep us up late at night. But it's stuff that we're doing for you guys to try to make sure that we really create a community here that's wonderful. You can go to the next slide, Alistair. You can go to the next slide. So what success looks like. Streamlined communications, aligned roles and responsibilities, documented operational processes, thriving volunteer teams, and a vibrant spiritual community. I'm working really hard to make sure that this place is good regardless of who is in charge. No offense, William. But that is honestly my goal and my aspiration, is that we can create unity, can be a very strong structural organization that is very everything proof, right? And we can do that. We have the ability, and we have everybody in this room to do that. We have wonderful practitioners, we have wonderful minds, incredible volunteers, we have motivation, we have enough money, and we have a building. We can do something really, really special here, and we already are. You know, I love when Dave says the little church that could. We already are doing something, and Jane, I see you back there, doing something really freaking amazing, and we're spreading a beautiful message. You're gonna make me cry. A beautiful message. And if we can continue this, regardless of us and the circumstances, we can make it that unity is carried forward to the next generation, and it's here. It's here for other people to hear, other people to flourish from. So I appreciate all of your help with this. Go to the next slide, Alistair. And we'll end it at this one. But in the midst of movement and chaos, keep stillness inside of you. It seems like there's a lot of things changing, but I promise you, it's inevitable. Every step forward, you're balancing on a foot for a second. It's impossible to not take a step without having a moment of hesitation. And so as we're going forward, just keep the curiosity. Everything's going wonderful. We're still putting on wonderful Sunday services. We've had like 140 people in the room every single Sunday. Our Wednesdays are going on. Our events are packed from wall to wall when we have events going on. It's incredible what we are doing here. You know, it's absolutely incredible. So I thank you all for the opportunity to be doing the operations, and look forward to working with you more in the future.
Board elections.
He's muted.
Oh, okay. We're going to take a break. Yes. 8-minute break, and I'll see you back in 8 minutes.
Did I make anybody mad? No, I don't know that. I think that was before that came out. Yeah. I have no social media anymore. So everyone's like blowing their minds out. Bro, I did that like 3 or 4 years ago. Like, I already know a lot of shit. Like, you didn't know that? You didn't know. We're living.
social, not for me personally, for me, my job is social.
So you think you know decisions made from the unknown, but where did they arise? And how did you become so wise to hear your voice inside? The one that's been there through all time, guiding you along, awakening you to your song. What has it all been for? The great search for the soul behind all the lies. Stories kept deep inside of who you think you are. A life you thought you could devise, but here you are again, questioning all that you can. Flow like the river. Path is no more present you can be in each moment you will see blessings of this life, feeling in its own time. If you're patient you will see everything is meant to be. Everything is meant to be.
Everybody's coming back in.
Of the
I
spine,
have
you
the
find
for the nonprofit. Come back in.
Nobody's listening, you're fine.
question all that you can in the great mystery. There's always more than it seems. this life, feeling in its own time. If you're patient, you will see everything is meant to be. 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 Fade away and just remain that who you are is so much more. And the fear that was sown transforms to the known. With trust in your heart, remember who you are.
It'd be much easier to be a show out.
Do you remember who you are? You remember who you are. You remember who you
All right, everyone, let's slow down. Let's get this moving.
Everybody, yeah. Let's sit in our seats,
Okay, everybody.
surrender to the unknown as your path is now shown. More present you will be each moment you see the blessings of this life revealing in its own time. If you're patient, you will see everything is meant to be.
Thank you, Dave. Does anyone else? Aaron, can you shout into the foyer one more time? Thank you. We have the results from the nonprofit selection. Do you want to hear those? Okay, we have the Latino community with 23 votes. The Latino community support. And our homegrown changing patterns. We have the Lynn Labyrinth with 22 votes. And the Treehouse Support Group for Children. Okay, now we're having our board elections, and we want to honor and thank the people who've completed their terms, which is Sarah and Leah. Is that right? And stepping down in his third year was Kevin to make way for the new growth, and we respect and honor Kevin for everything he's done. And this past year was a difficult year for the board. And I have deep respect for the way they paved and everything they did. And to make a new start and to let go of the old, I asked everyone to step off the board and to run again. And so Dennis stepped off the board and he's choosing not to run again now. He may be open for serving on the board in the future. And Esther also has stepped off the board and she's choosing not to run again to make room for what's new and to take care of herself now. So we want to honor Dennis and Esther. And Robin is on the board, and she's staying on the board, and we're electing 5 new people for the board. So 5 new people on the board. It's my desire that when we vote, we're voting for who we think can do the most for unity. And we're looking for organizational skills, we're looking for marketing skills, we're looking for people who have something to contribute and can get to work and have something to give to guide us forward. Because we're taking the next step as an organization, one that has structure, vision, and tenacity. And so when you vote, vote for who can really get some stuff done and who has the chops to do that. Yes.
I just wanted to know how many people will be on the board, because it sounds like if only Robin is current, then there will only be 6, whereas there were 8 or 9 before.
After consulting, and we did, I think we had a vote on it, we talked with the whole board about it, we're bringing board members down to 6. So with the minister, it'll be 7 total. Eric is running for the board again too, and yeah, with the minister, it's an odd number. Yeah, Eric stepped down, and he's running for the board again too. And Russell is also, yes. And they'll be up to speak. And so in that way, we're making a new start now. So this is our ship. We're on a mission to Mars.
So my question is, which positions are these people running for? Or is it just going to be we get the new 5 or 6, and then you're this and you're that? And aren't there?
Yeah, that's the board. The board will actually vote on who's the board president and the places on the board. So that's something we'll have a board vote on now. And once we have the board, we'll be trying to put people into a place where they can excel. So those are things that will be decided. It's important for me to read that under Article 6, Section 10A of the USCCO bylaws, qualifications. To be eligible to be selected to the board of directors, a person must be an active member of USCCO. In addition, candidates for election shall endeavor to live in accordance with the Christ consciousness principles of love and truth as taught by Unity. Work to further the purpose of the ministry through active interest, love, and support. Be a sincere and continuing student of Unity, always remaining conversant with its teachings, and shall have demonstrated leadership capabilities. And we're going to have each of the members come up, and they'll have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, otherwise we'd be here for the rest of our lives, to talk about what they have to contribute to the board.
And William, but I want to make note that I do see some hands up in the audience. I believe we have a question and answer section, do we not, Sarah? After? Yeah, I just want to make a point that I think we do have a questions and answers section coming up a little bit later, so we'll get them out, but let's try to keep them until that section if possible.
Are you going to pass out paper ballots for those of us that can't
Yes.
get the QR? Okay.
There's a lot of new candidates. I just want to clarify that if we revote in Robin, Russell, and Eric, there's only really 3 positions that we vote for. Is that correct?
Robin's staying on, so Robin's not being voted on.
Oh, she's not being voted on. Okay.
Everyone else is being voted on.
Okay. But if we chose to bring in Russell and Eric again, then we're not looking for 6 new positions or 5 new positions. We're only looking for what, 3? 5.
By the way, I'll take a moment now that if you want to raise your hand, we'll start getting some paper ballots out to you. If you raise your hand up
who needs
high.
paper ballots? Raise your hand.
Alistair can start handing out those paper ballots. Thank you so much. And then, William, are you ready for the first candidate?
Yeah, we'll start rolling candidates up now, and they'll have 3 minutes.
It will be Miss Kate Kavanaugh.
Would you like to come up for your 3 minutes of glory?
Unity community. This is a heartfelt decision to be here, and I have you know a lot of my story from the times and opportunities that I've had to speak here. It's been such a joy and a pleasure to do so. I bring with me 16 years of corporate work, transactional, but also bringing teams together. It's a passion of mine, and I have for many years been an entrepreneurial coach where I'm helping to define, design, and develop moving forward in one's life. So you know me. You don't have to know the way knows the way.
And I will leave the mic right here. Come on up.
Well, hi, everyone. It's intimidating. Well, you've heard me, many of you heard me a few weeks ago when I talked. It's 3 years ago I joined this community, and I joined it because I felt a beautiful energy of no drama and just beautiful souls wanting to connect despite all the differences for one goal is to improve and connect soul to soul. And I really resonated with this. Thank you for the beautiful energy that you brought into this place. I grew up in a country where atheism is the #1 religion, and the default one was Catholicism. And so I never really found my path. And when I finally, it took me 35 plus years to finally arrive to a place that had that in between, where it doesn't matter how we feel, how we call God, or whatever the definition of God that you gave earlier. I will not repeat it, but it doesn't matter how we call it, we all feel it, and that's something that is precious. And so I really want to help nurturing this because it is unique, it is rare, and it's beautiful. And to help with that, I have a master's in marketing and international business. I've helped pass 3 pieces of legislation in the States during the most polarizing time in politics, helping reduce climate pollution. So if there is something impossible to do, usually people hand it to me, hoping that I will find a path. So if there is something impossible that you're feeling like, bring it to me. I might be able to turning into a just possible.
Paul.
So with William referring to our mission statement and vision statement and other things you've been sharing this afternoon, you've already said a bunch of what I was thinking I was going to say, so I'm kind of on the fly here. For me, unity's been a really important part of my own spiritual life and my own spiritual journey for about the last 30 years. I first came across New Thought in Eugene back in the mid-90s and have learned an incredible amount since then. And other things that I've discovered through being part of Unity community has led me on to other things as well that are really important to me. And a part of that for me was getting involved in classes. Just coming to services didn't mean that much to begin with. Yeah, I had a kind of a feel-good type experience, but I didn't realize the depth and the quality of what our message had to share with people and how important it is can be important for other people as well. So as a part of what I'm hoping to bring is a passion for more education. I know we've talked a lot as a community recently about wanting to do more for the younger generation, for our youth, and I'm really hoping that we can do a lot more for adult education as well. That as we can grow our community, then there will be enough people in the community to be able to make that really valuable. And another part is that I see so much change happening in the broader society that, you know, maybe we're going to see as much change in the next 30 years as we've seen in the last 300. And that's on just a material and a physical level. And during all that change, it feels like we've lost touch with a lot of the kind of spiritual side of development as well, and we've become overly focused on the material side. And again, I believe that what we are teaching, what we have to offer and share with New Thought is really, really important to be able, for people to be able to take that in and appreciate the abundance that is maybe coming our way as a community and as a civilization. And if we're not self-aware enough, if we're not connected enough to source and to the broader oneness that we're a part of, then we're really going to struggle in a more abundant future. So another question for me and intention for our community in Central Oregon is how are we able to reach out to other people in this area who can really benefit from what we have to share, what we have to give. Because just to have a much larger profile than we have right now. And I think the last thing I want to say is just to, again, repeat something that William mentioned, and that's thanks to the board, appreciation for our current board and all that you've done, all that you've contributed. I know it's been challenging at times as well, but as a member of the congregation, it just has continued to feel wonderful to be here. And the quality of connection, of love, of support, of nurturing through this time of change, through this time of transition, I think speaks a lot to the quality of the current board. Thank you. And the intention that we are all bringing to this energy, to this space. So, thank you.
Well done.
So I guess the first order of my business would be to express, how honored and privileged I feel to be able to have the opportunity to represent unity. It's what I've been doing a lot in this Tri-County area. I am a part of five different councils and committees around the Tri-County area, which reach large, audiences of the healthcare system. Where I'm seeing, well, not me, just I see love and light right there, but many people on those committees are expressing a whole lot of need, and being here has not only helped me, myself, to develop and grow, it has been doing a lot for the people in this community here at Unity. So giving that, presenting that opportunity to, the audience that I have the, this privilege to be a part of, I get to present what we do here, what we believe in here. I had the enormous pleasure to go to Bellingham, Washington, not being on the board or in ministry or anything, but getting to talk with people from around the region about what they're doing and getting to listen and participate in how we can help each other, because it's not just us here. We have a whole lot of unities in our region, and so getting to know people very personally and reaching out to them, like when Washington's having flooding, hey, president of the board, do you guys need any help? Also providing things like books and education material are deep passion of mine, because those are the things that I learned from, to grow and learn so much to be able to spread out to the community. So that is one of the biggest things for, what I want, my purpose and passion and drive here, because of all the greatness that we have here, on the amazing talent, and everybody who just wants to love on each other and express that to everybody. I just love hugging everybody. It's my favorite thing to do here. Getting to be a part of groups and classes. I've gotten to know so many that come here on a very deep personal level. where I feel that, I can be on a board and accurately represent what we're wanting to bring here. Also, I forgot about that. Anyway, but it's a lot to think about. But yes, this is definitely my biggest passion, and I believe heavily in this mission. I am not in the burnout idea, but I definitely want to be able to. I guess that's what makes it so full of energy for me, is like the deep passion and drive I have to get everything going, and I'm so excited about what you're bringing here. To bring us all in this container and have it all structured, and I'm very, very, very excited about it. So I just want to fly right now. All right, thank you.
I was just in the lobby, and above the door there's a flag. It has a yin and yang symbol with that looks like a sun, and right below it it says, "All are welcome." And I think Unity has provided a very loving and welcoming home for me. I came out here with no family, not knowing anybody, and it's just been a wonderful, beautiful place to find so many loving souls. And I'm on my own journey, I suppose, of self-evolution. And if there's something that I could contribute to this community, I would want to give myself wholly over to it. So I know that I am but still a young little lad with lots to learn, but I think with everyone who I've seen up on this stage, there's something I admire about you, and I think I can learn from you. What I think I can offer is I am a go-getter to the core, so much so that it can be a little bit much for people sometimes. But I throw myself fully into whatever it is and pursue it with vigor and passion, because that's what this world needs. It's people who care. And I just want to say thank you, William and Ezekiel. I think you've been a great model for what we can rise to and what we can be. So, thanks.
Thank you, William. My turn. I came to this community about 4 years ago, and it resonated with me, and it still resonates with me, and that's why I am here. In the last 2 years, serving as the treasurer on the board, and particularly in this last year of transition, I feel most proud of three things: that we've achieved financial stability, that we have the mission, vision, values, and identity statements that William read for us, and now that we have William leading us. And if that were all, I'd be happy to step down and go away. That's enough. That's so meaningful to me that that could be the end of my Unity career, and I'd be proud of it forever. But, however, it also sets the stage for growth and for a new era of our Unity community, to share what we believe in with a bigger slice of the world, with a bigger slice of this community, which still, by and large, doesn't know who the heck we are. So I think I would love to contribute the same energy I've put in over the last years into taking on a new era of growing this organization, making it stronger, bringing it to more people who desperately need us, and moving forward. So, just a little bit about background, if any of you don't know. I had a, almost 50-year career, mostly in the pharmaceutical industry. I've worked in organizations where I was employee number 1, and we only got up to number 5 before we ran out of money, to Fortune 500 companies. I've grown a pharmaceutical company from about $30 million in sales to $750 million. I've had 600 people working for me as the head of a manufacturing organization. So I know what it's like to scale up, to take something that starts out as a one-man band and moves into a small business and then scales up and ultimately serves a much bigger audience. So I think I can offer those same skills here in a different context and environment. About a third of my career was started out in sales and marketing. I then moved into project management, and along that way took a Project Management Institute chapter in St. Louis, which I was the founding president of that. We had to find 25 people to found it, and today, 25 years later, or 30 years later, they have 1,500 members in St. Louis. So I've had experience growing nonprofits as well. And then the third part of my career was in manufacturing and operations, running factories. I had 5 factories reporting to me and quality control labs. And so I know how to work diverse parts of an organization and get them to work cohesively together. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, friends. Hi. Thank you for having me up here. I've completed 2 years out of what is a 3-year term, but we're here to check and see if y'all are still happy with the way things are going. I have a long professional experience. I don't know if it's on this list, but you got it in the email. I've been an entrepreneur for a while. I've been on other boards. I've been part of growing organizations. I'm happy to keep doing that here. I'm very organized and professional and efficient. But y'all know me, right? I open the door. But not just literally. I do that figuratively too. It's really important to me that people feel welcome into here, that they feel that it's friendly, that they get the right kind of response, whether they want to meet people or they want to kind of hide and check it out. But I also open the door for people volunteering. I really believe in a large distributed amount of power through the whole congregation. I want people volunteering at every level, and I've been a really big proponent of the teams model so that we have people kind of filling the ranks as much as we can. All of you are involved in some way or another. Some of you are volunteers, some of you are in leadership, but a lot of you are just like friends to people who come in, right? You welcome people in, you make them feel comfortable, or you give them their space if they need that, right? And then you show up to things like this and you help out. So there's a lot of ways to be involved, and I love seeing people do that. I've been super excited about William. I was very excited when he first started to run, and then I'm really excited to see you here growing in leadership. That's really good. I'm also really excited about Matthew, who also threw his hat into run. And Matthew does a lot with Divine Healers, and he's also feeling a lot of empowerment with his leadership too. But so many of you are empowered here. Dave up on the piano. I can't go through everybody, but I'm just so excited to to see all the friends out here and how you all lead and contribute to this community. So a big part of what I do is empowering people into their leadership positions, right? Figuring out what the right fit is for you, what the right frequency of work is for you, how you can contribute. And with the financial leadership too, I've been a big proponent of if we are more prosperous as a community, then we can donate more, right? So that's why I've been pushing on, like Sonia and a lot of these teams have been developing events where we can like sell our own things and offer our services, like at Divine Healers. So if you make more money, you're able to donate more, right? So that's another way that I feel that we can help our community grow. So yeah, if y'all like that style of leadership, if you want me to ask you to be involved more, then vote for me. And I love you all for what you're doing anyway. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Russell. You were the first one I met when I walked in the door. Charming. I've been a member for 5 years, and it's been very rewarding. I would say that I have had the pleasure of being the day-to-day, practical, on-the-ground experience dad, and I've been able to participate from different angles, and so part of that early on, I observed that I had a prior skill set as a renovations contractor, being able to, I guess, dissect the property from a maintenance perspective and evaluate all of the facilities and systems. And I quickly observed early on that we didn't really have a facilities system or person that was the go-to. And so there was multiple opportunities that I was able to help out with that. And multiple years later, I feel very fortunate to be that point and a person that people can call in case of emergency or an alarm or whatever. I have a deep appreciation for Unity based on many years of personal growth and evolution. This is a picture of the passageway into my, oh man, I dropped it. I'll get that back up. It says, this is the church I grew up in San Diego. And as an altar boy, I would stand there and I would cross over this multiple times a week. And it says, I will spend my heaven doing good on earth. And that was something that was very meditative for me because there were things that I would hear and be taught that I felt weren't in following with that. And so that passage guided me here to Unity over the course of many years. And so I feel very loyal to our mission and our vision, and I want to hit a couple notes here because the time's short. My objective is to continue with the development of the Unity, the Nest, and the Nursery youth programs. I would like to focus on the continuing ongoing maintenance and direct repairs of the Unity facility. There is a list, and I'm working on that. And if anybody wants to join me, let me know. I'd like to focus on the awareness and the community of Unity and increasing our membership and growth, and especially member retention. And advocating with that is promoting a family-based message and family supportive systems and programs here at Unity. And then along with that is a direct marketing and awareness. So I would like to help us, and in so doing, I thank you so much for helping myself and my family.
Thank you, Dan. Reese.
Well, since my picture's not up there, I thought I'd show up and say, this is me. And I got to say, stepping up here and talking in front of you feels so much more comforting after hearing everyone, because what a great group of people to choose from. I have no idea how any of us are going to decide to whittle that down. So thank you everyone for putting your name up here. A lot of you actually don't know me. I've kind of been a little quieter with Unity for a long time, and my journey with Unity in life has been a little different than most. I actually was kind of born into Unity in Olympia, Washington. The only church I knew of as a kid was a Unity church. That said, my only memories were like making pine cones and bird feeders and stuff like that. So it didn't have a lot of impact, but that's the environment I just grew up in a very spiritual environment. And I've never known a structured religion. And then moving here, we joined Unity 14 years ago. I joined with my family. Maybe you've seen us. We bring a service dog every once in a while with my oldest daughter. My wife will sing sometimes, it's been a while. And then my youngest daughter likes to run the mic around too, Azalea. So we've been a family of Unity for a very long time, and I believe Azalea was maybe our very first baby in the nursery. And it was basically created because we needed a nursery to keep coming to Unity. Jane's back there nodding her head. But things change, right? We had a lot of change all happen at the same time. That was an evolution coming out of the Grange, coming to this beautiful space, which was something that a lot of members, longtime members, had to kind of like adopt to and adapt to. COVID hit. My professional development, which I'll go into very quickly, was kind of on a roller coaster and a rocket at the same time. And so I actually had to fade back from my my kind of face in Unity a little bit. I used to be on the stage doing platform help fairly frequently. I was frequently the sound person in the back if I wasn't on stage. But we've come to more complex systems and a beautiful group of people doing platform. And sometimes I don't feel like my involvement is needed, and so I won't step in. And now with this change, I do feel like some involvement is needed. And like I said, the candidacy group is great. But my history, my qualifications are, I've spent my 20s as a marketing director for G.I. Joe's. Does anybody remember G.I. Joe's? I didn't take them into the ground, I promise. But anyway, and then we moved here, and then I've spent basically my 30s and 40s with Mount Bachelor as their sales and services director for a very long time. Some management changes over the last few years, really had some family changes with my own family, really pulled me back out of the public eye completely. I removed myself from all boards. I removed myself from all involvement in any organization. I focused on my family. I focused on my wife's business, and I'm getting choked up because those things, I successfully focused on them, and I'm able to move forward through that. And I thank this community for it. The spiritual growth of myself, my own personal development was, I was all over the board, and this place centered and grounded me. My practice went through a very consistent space personally. I enjoyed services again. I enjoyed the community here again, which before I kind of came out of here really exhausted and tired because I didn't have any bandwidth. They say if you want something done, find a busy person, they'll get it done. There is a breaking point. Some of you have obviously felt that. I was at that point, and now I'm not. And I'm kind of looking to reinsert myself into where I care, and this place is where I deeply do care about. In my time, I believe in my success and my personal success, my professional success. We're small business owners. My wife and I own a small business. She's a counselor for kids. Same thing as that Treehouse. She does therapy for kids, and we have a number of therapists under us. I had my own window cleaning business for a long time. DJ work, production work, MC work, a lot of small business stuff, but also that corporate side. And there's one thing that doesn't change between all of that, whether it's being on the board, being an active board member in the community, it's grit to get it done. It takes grit, doesn't matter what size. This place needs grit. A lot of people here have it. A lot of people on the stage trying to get a position have it. I feel really good that we're going to get a lot of stuff done for that structure. And Gregory, I thank you for tapping me. So, and I do love this man. And you all. I love you all too.
We're going to set up the voting now on Mincy Meter. And I want to thank everyone for being here today, and thank everyone for standing for positions. And I believe this is your pen, Dan. That's a nice pen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's a, it's a, I get my practice in for standing awkwardly. I'm hoping to be like in the Olympics for awkward standing. And we are working feverishly for the results for the new board in the year of the fire horse. And everything's going to be okay.
Do they have your votes? Has everyone turned in their votes?
Okay. Here are the results. Please come up when your name is called. We have Kate. We have Eric. We have Dan Stevenson. We have Russell. And we have Amandine. And we have Robin. And this is so beautiful, and we're going to have a board meeting. Not right now, but a week from Monday, and we'll be electing board positions, and we're going to have a ceremony, and we're going to get to work. And there is divine order now. One more round of applause.
I just want to applaud all the other nominees, everyone who applied. Now that you've put yourself out there, you need to volunteer more and get into leadership. We have lots of positions and lots of work for all y'all to do. Thanks.
Thank you, Russell, and thanks everyone for coming down. We're doing good work here, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, look, can we have a photo? Let's take some pics.
Need to get the mic out of the way for photo shoot. There we go. Yeah, get centered. It's weird when you guys go.